Hey guys, let's get more news about Warriors, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Warriors Steph Curry reveals noteworthy top 5 players from his era. Golden State Warriors superstar Stephen Curry is unquestionably one of the best players of his generation, but how reliable is he when it comes to making his own list of them? We have seen this type of thing before. NBA players make all-time lists, and they frequently look odd. Curry was worried people would be thinking the same thing about his rankings, but he go ahead and made them anyway. While joined by his father, former NBA player Del Curry, on their Heat Check podcast, Curry rattled off the top 5 players of his era, and I've got to say, his list is pretty solid: LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard, James Harden and himself. I know every time you do this you're gonna miss somebody and, people will say, oh my god, he left him off the list? What was he thinking? This guy doesn't know basketball, Curry said, hat tip Doric Sam of Bleacher Report. Going to be honest, no one should be saying that about Steph's list. It's a pretty good one, and it doesn't really have any outlandish names on it. He also gave honorable mention to Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis as well as his Warriors teammate, Klay Thompson. The Warriors won 46 games this season and were hammered by the Sacramento Kings in a play-in game. Based on what we saw from Golden State all season long, its loss to the Kings shouldn't have come as too much of a surprise. Last year, the Dubs went 44-38 and ultimately fell to the Los Angeles Lakers in the second round of the playoffs. Yes, the Warriors are 3 seasons removed from winning their 4th NBA championship with the trio of Curry, Thompson and Draymond Green, but at this point, that title seemed like the last hurrah for the group. Thompson is set to be a free agent this offseason, and there appears to be a legitimate possibility that he won't be back with the Dubs next season. He is also clearly declining, as is Green, whose overall impact is not quite the same as it was years ago. Even Curry, while still great, seems to be slipping. Yes, he averaged 26.4 points per game this season on 45.0/40.8/92.3 shooting splits, but he averaged just .142 win shares per 48 minutes, his lowest mark since his second NBA season all the way back in 2010-11. He is also still very efficient, boasting a true shooting percentage of 61.6%, but that is well off of his peak when he was regularly logging over 65% in that area. The Warriors have obviously gotten old, and rising young teams in the Western Conference may be pushing them aside. There is no doubt that Golden State had an unbelievable run. It won 4 titles while making 6 NBA Finals appearances between 2015 and 2022, and Curry himself won back-to-back MVP awards throughout that run. However, the sun appears to have set on the Warriors dynasty. We'll see what the next step is for Steph and company next season. Warriors Draymond Green fuels Joel Embiid's Jrue Holiday Bucks debate. Draymond Green picked the Dallas Mavericks to win the NBA Finals. After the Boston Celtics survived a furious fourth-quarter comeback to take Game 3 106-99 and come within just one more victory of raising championship banner number 18, though, the Golden State Warriors star made their ultimate triumph seem inevitable. On the latest edition of his eponymous podcast, Green addressed Joel Embiid's mid-game tweet Wednesday night about the Milwaukee Bucks giving Boston the title by trading Jrue Holiday. Joel Embiid tweeting, "Did the Bucks give them the championship?" Them, being Boston. And the answer to Joel's question is yes, they actually did, he said. Because they traded Jrue away, and like I just think even in that trade, you gotta find or do all you can to keep Jrue. Because Jrue can guard bigger, Jrue can play on the ball or off the ball, there's no fit mismatch with Jrue and Dame, and I don't think Portland was hell-bent on getting Jrue Holiday. Ultimately, I think that's what they got, but I don't think they were hell-bent on it being Jrue, and I think there were some other things Milwaukee could have done to keep Jrue. But yes, the Bucks gave the Celtics the championship. Milwaukee fell to the 8th-seeded Miami Heat in the first round of last year's playoffs, a disappointing loss that, despite Giannis Antetokounmpo missing 2 games of the series due to injury, prompted major organizational changes. Mike Budenholzer was fired barely a week later. Then the Bucks rocked the basketball world in October by acquiring Damian Lillard in a blockbuster trade that sent Holiday to the Portland Trail Blazers. Milwaukee no doubt knew the rebuilding Blazers would be rerouting Holiday after sending him to Rip City. What's also safe to say is that general manager John Horst and company surely hadn't conceived of the Bucks' chief Eastern Conference rival winning the sweepstakes for Holiday, the cherry on top of a truly transformative offseason that has Boston on verge of hoisting the Larry O'Brien Trophy for the first time since 2008. Holiday was a viable choice for Finals MVP after the first 2 games of the Finals, suffocating Kyrie Irving defensively while stuffing the stat sheet on efficient shooting without committing a single turnover. The Bill Russell Trophy is Jaylen Brown's to lose in wake of Game 3, and rightfully so. He's been the Celtics' best player throughout the postseason, taking his game to even greater heights with the championship on the line after winning Eastern Conference Finals MVP. But Brown's sustained excellence hardly deflects from the massive 2-way impact Holiday has provided on Boston's path to the Larry O'Brien Trophy. He's been favorably compared to Aaron Gordon and Andrew Wiggins of late, indispensable support pieces of the NBA's last 2 championship teams who were overstretched as primary options earlier in their careers. 3-time champion floated as Suns free agent target. The Phoenix Suns need reinforcements but don't have many options to turn to. The offseason will likely provide plenty of twists and turns. Among them could be the possible release of Kevin Looney. The Golden State Warriors center, who has won 3 titles with the team, has only a partially guaranteed contract for the 2024-25 season. If the Warriors decide to cut him loose, PHNX Sports' Gerald Bourguet explained why he should be the Suns' #1 target. This season, the 28-year-old only held opponents to 3% worse shooting at the rim, but he remained one of the NBA's most switchable big men. It was just 2 seasons ago he was doing the dirty work to help the Warriors win yet another title, holding his own on an island against everyone from Jalen Brunson to James Harden during his peak. Looney has put on more weight since then, but he can still slide his feet to stick with quicker ball handlers. At the very least, he'd provide a starting caliber alternative to Nurkic in any playoff matchups that weren't favorable to the Bosnian beast. He added the one value Looney has brought to the Warriors that he could bring to the Suns. Offensively, Looney shot 67.4% at the rim this season, and although he only ranked in the 56th percentile in points per possession as a roll man, he was 12th in the league in screen assists per 36 minutes. He's used to freeing up Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson for clean looks, so it'd be a natural transition to doing the same for Booker, Durant, and Beal. Adding Looney might not be a pipe dream for the Suns. Because the Warriors have crossed the league's second tax apron, they will want to get under it to avoid the ramifications that come with it. Cutting Looney would help them with that. The Athletic's Tim Kawakami revealed that the Warriors cutting Looney is the most likely option. I think the likeliest situation is that he's cut, and he makes $3 million from the Warriors, and he's off looking for another spot, and there will be another spot for him in this league, Kawakami said on the Warriors Plus Minus podcast, transcribed by Bourguet. Teams are going to want him, again for a very low number, but they're going to want him. There won't be that many centers available in free agency at a low price like Looney. However, his resume may also make him too expensive for the Suns. Looney was outshined by the Warriors' hotshot rookie Tracy Jackson-Davis. Hence, he didn't play as much as in previous years. His minutes went from 23.9 a game to 16.1. However, just because the Warriors counted on the rookie more than Looney does not mean Looney can't be a valued piece on the Suns. The Suns did not boast much frontcourt depth and could stand to get more if the opportunity presented itself. Looney is not a star, but he is a 3-time champion for a reason. The Suns have a limited window on their hands. He would give them a chance to pounce on the time they have as a playoff team. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Kevin Looney? Leave your opinion in the comments.